Hey, it's MK, and I am here with another Grateful for You layout. Now, this one's going to be a little different because I made it thinking that I was recording, and I look up and I was not. So I created the entire layout without realizing I was not recording. I mean, it's happened before, but this is bad. So anywho, I wanted to show you guys all of the papers that I used and kind of walk through what I did to make this layout. Now, I do know that these papers are a little muted, a lot muted compared to some of my photos. So my photo does kind of stick out like a sore thumb, but I was able to tell my story using these papers. So that's all that mattered to me in the long run. So anyways, to get started, I used the Mintay papers from Flora Boulevard. No, oh my gosh, you guys, I can't say this word to save my life. Flora Bella. Mintay papers, Flora Bella. This is a 2001 release from Mintay. And I just kind of want to show you guys all of this detail work. Oh my stars. It is just gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to flip through and show you guys all of this. This has lots of words like really old scanned address, or I don't know, not address, letter. Anyways, there is that one, and then we have this one with the gorgeous gazebo, and then a horse cluster over here, another little cluster like macrame cluster over here, and then the other side is this beautiful pink-ish, it's almost peach-ish with the distressed edge. I love it. Again, it looks like rippled paper. Then we have this one with the gorgeous mansion, another little cluster and a horse cluster up here. I just love this. Absolutely love it. Then we have this one. It's almost got a faded damask look into it. Not sure if you guys can see that well or not, but it does. And then I have this beautiful wreath. Oh my gosh, I really just want to fussy cut that out. I love this right here. Then it has a peach-ish pink like barn door look to it right there. Two more papers. I have this floral look. It's got a floral repeated over and over on the paper. Okay, it's really hard to see far away, but up close you can see it. And then it has like laid out papers kind of collaged in there with some florals over it, overlaid. Then you have the cut apart sheet, which has an image on every side, and then it has frames on the other side. So here's the layout that I created using these papers. Okay, so I used the print that kind of looked like a letter in the background. Then I put the papers going on here that looked like the laid letters down. I only cut out a few of them instead of all of them. So here's my leftover pieces right here. And so I just cut out the letters that I wanted rather than, you know, the letters that didn't really make sense. Well, not that any of them made sense. Then I took the cut apart cards like this that had the frames, and I cut out 3 frames. So I have the 3 frames going on right here. Okay, so I did all of that. Then I took the inside of my frames and I wrote down my journaling. So I've got my 3 journaling spots right here because I wanted to make sure, since I had such a large cluster, I wanted to make sure that I had room for my journaling. But I also took some of my cardstock and matted my photos. That's where the brown came from. Plus inside the brown frame had like this dark wood grain inside it. So I wanted to bring in that darkness and dirtiness. And then once I figured out how I wanted my 3 photos and my background pieces to go, I traced an outline of them all. I had them all glued together. I traced an outline, and then I just took my sponge dauber like so with ground espresso ink and inked all the way around going on. So that way I had this really dark, makes it look like it's all popped up kind of look going on. And then I took the fussy cut sheet, which is actually the main sheet of like the cover sheet of the entire pack. That's what this is. It has kind of like the huge Mintay logo on it, and then a display of all of the papers. And I took all those fussy cuts and I created 3 small little clusters. So I had one going down the side over here, a little bit accenting some journaling up here, and then a large cluster wrapping around this photo going on here. So basically what this is about is I love the fact that my kids still write to their grandparents. I absolutely love it. They every Sunday or Saturday, depending on, maybe even Friday night, they sit down and they write about what they've got going on in their lives to their grandparents. And then, of course, they just absolutely get ecstatic when they see the card and the letter back from the grandparents. So it's really kind of cool. And we also do great grandma too. She's the only one left, and so we want to make sure that she is still incorporated with the writing and stuff. And she is old school. They are all old school, so they do love getting the letters and whatnot. And when we went to the museum back in July of this year, we went to a museum in Austin, Nevada, and we found a map of the Pony Express that goes from one side of the country. I think this is halfway. I think this is only to Missouri or Mississippi. I can't remember the name. Missouri is what it is. Sorry, I had to read real close. So these are all the stops that the horse had to make in order to make this journey going all the way halfway across the United States. And it has all of these stations to where they could either switch out horses or stop and get, food for the horse, whatnot, rest for the rider, things like that. And all these mini stops that your letter has to do before it gets from point A to point B. And what's really cool is there's another plaque elsewhere that shows you the different mileage between the 2 spots, all the different stations of how far they could go and how far they can rest and whatnot. And so we were just explaining to the kids that back then, to get the Pony Express, if you were to put your letter on the Pony Express and have it delivered to Grandma and Grandpa now, it would take a long, long time. It would take months instead of, which actually, no, it wouldn't. It would take weeks instead of just a few days. So I think that's pretty cool, knowing that and how the kids are aware of that. But this photo here represents the Pony Express trail that exists still today. And along this trail, it's really cool because there's like a, I don't want to call it a T-post, but it's almost like railroad tracks made into a T. And then on there is a plaque of a saying that someone said about the Pony Express, which is really, really cool. It gives you the year, the guy's name, or the people's name, because it's not always a guy, and then it referring to the Pony Express. And I don't know if that has to do with he said it right there at that spot or not. I'm not really sure. But all through Nevada, you can almost follow the entire Pony Express trail on these back roads. One of these days we do plan on doing that, but the best part is, it's kind of like Easter eggs, is there's still these stations along this path still there. And they're not full in an entirety like they show here in the photos, but the groundskeepers have fenced them all off, and you kind of sort of can see what's left of them and whatnot. And it's just kind of cool how we are still trying to preserve our history and whatnot. And the kids absolutely love it. You could tell back in the day that you were able to actually go in there a long, long time ago, because there's plaques inside each one sharing, telling you what that room was or what they did in that room. Things like that. And now you're stuck outside of a fence and you cannot go in to read those plaques. So it is okay with me. I am sure that one of these days they'll come up with a website so you know what those plaques say based off of where you are, or maybe they'll come up with a QR code on the outside plaque, something, because I would like to know what those plaques say. But as for right now, there's not. And my kids love following trails that, aren't roads. it is pretty cool. Like I said, you can follow this trail almost all the way from one side of Nevada to the other following the Pony Express if you want to. I'm not sure about the other states. We kind of stay close to home. We do these trips. We do day trips. Austin, Nevada wasn't too far away, and it's one of the historical sites in Nevada that has some really cool history. I can't wait to scrapbook all the things that we did in just one day in Austin, Nevada. We did tons, and it seems like it was a whole week that took us, but it was only one day. Anyways, I do apologize that I did not get this layout fully recorded so you guys can see its entirety. I do plan on, now that I'm looking at it, I think I want to add some white splatters to this. So let me go ahead and do that real quick while I have you on. Since you guys didn't get to see it in fast forward, now you guys get to deal with me in real life. Yay! So I'm going to add a little bit of white splatter, and all I do is I shake up my bottle, which has been leaking for some weird reason lately. So I'm going to have to contact Altenew and find out what is going on. And I'm going to try to avoid writing on or splattering on my words, but if I do, I do. Whatevs. I'm okay with that. And because this is Distress ink, it's actually going to change the color of the white splatters ever so slightly. I think that's a-okay. And I love the different layers that creates. So there is now officially the final layout. Right there with all the splatters. And like I said, the photos do kind of stick out like a sore thumb, like this turtle card definitely does kind of stick out. But it's not about matchy-matchy all the time. It's about telling your story. And so that is where it kind of is at for me. I'm okay with this card. You know, I didn't want to change it to a sea turtle card because we're talking about Pony Express. All right. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys all later. Don't forget to check out Janet Fritz. She is Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube because she is playing along with me every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday of this month for our Grateful 4 series. And yeah, I'll have her channel linked down below, and I will check y'all later. Thanks!